Good day out there, all my fellow internet dwellers, if there truly is anybody else left out there, and welcome back to yet another riveting episode of Placeholder. That'll be a good pun once we get started with our topic today, or if you use common sense and were able to pick up on that yourself. And no, my friends, we aren't talking about the French, but we will be touching on something equally as fruity. Happy Pride Month, everyone, and shout out to my alphabetical audience, whatever percentage of my audience that may be. I'm glad to be able to harbor your attention along with everyone else watching this very acceptable, highly produced trash on the internet. Say what you want, at the very least, it's not artificial. Today I wanted to celebrate our gay little friends across the world in the best way I could think. In a strange, oddly researched, and somewhat offensive video featuring a green ape with the enthusiasm of a rock. Hope you can all see the pride that I take in making these videos by the end of this one. But placeholder, you may be asking in an ignorant tone, what person, place, or thing lays within your crosshairs today? And naturally, I must once again explain the simple concept of not interrupting me to ask dumbass questions at the very moment of which I'm about to tell you that very thing, you impatient little audience member. As the month of June marches on, I figure I'll do the one thing that members of Pride love more than anything else in the world. Talk about little funny animals and make a video off the basis of a dead meme. Long story short, we're talking about gay frogs. Frogs! God's funniest amphibian. Never ever has something had a more fitting name. Be honest, when you see this and hear frog, you think, yup, absolutely, frog is the most fitting thing to call this creature. Some of you more astute audience members may be scratching your head as to wondering why, what these two, that is, frogs and the queers, have to do with each other at all. And nothing really. There's really no more allegory to this, but besides introducing you to the funniest and the fruitiest frog of them all, and the true topic of today, the poison dart frog. Please put down your Twitter drafts. The poison dart frog, also known as a poison arrow frog, or its scientific name. Oh boy, here comes my favorite part. All right, the Dendrobatite. Bendrobatite. It doesn't even. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Bendrobatite. Good God. All right. Bendrobatite. Anyway, the poison dart frog is actually a family of several brightly colored frogs. To clarify, not family as in biological classification, but loosely the group that embodies all dart frogs. Real quick side note, I will be talking about poison dart frogs broadly, so this won't really matter, but Dendrobatite isn't a species, I think? It's a genus with all these guys making up the species within that genus, like the many species under that genus. That or Dendrobatite is a species, and all of these are subspecies. I only bring it up because I couldn't find which was specifically, right, which it fell under. So if you know, please tell me, and if I figure it out, I will, I'll insert it right here. Alright, wonderful, that's great. Okay. Not important. They're gonna be generalized anyway, it doesn't matter. Gay frogs, like the meme. Like the Alex Jones meme from like 8 years ago? Yeah. Because they're colorful, right? Yeah, sure. I don't know, kinda. Maybe they're zesty or poisonous. I feel like that's offensive. I'm starting to get the feeling this whole video might be a little offensive. Anyway, poison dart frogs live in Central and South American rainforests and jungles. They can typically be found in the leaf litter on the ground floor of the jungle. Although somewhat rare, they can easily be identified with the bright colorings that they're so famous for. These colorings would typically be a horrible idea for most animals, as making yourself so easily spotted would make any hawk or serpent's day a little better. But these colors aren't an invitation, but a warning. Considering the whole poison part of the poison dart frog, eating these delicious looking creatures is a bad idea, because, poison. So that's why it wears such bright colors. It's called, oh boy, okay, I'm gonna have to pause here. It's called apomatism, I think. Aposematism. Jesus. A natural adaptation in many animals to advertise that you should stay away from this thing because it'll hurt you. Think wasps or Californians.
Please clap.
Typically, a lot of birds are brightly colored, just for the sex factor. Now that we have the basic profile of our froggy little friends out of the way, this is the part of the video where I bring you a handful of fun-filled, more insightful facts to deepen your knowledge to those weird little beasties, kicking off with... Wow, I could have done that. I could have written that better, but here we go. Frog facts number 1. Poison dart frogs dance to find a mate. Now, this isn't something unique to poison dart frogs. Everyone and their mother knows that they can think of an animal that does a little jive, it does a little dance, a little hokey pokey, so that they can hokey their pokey, whatever. But these little guys do it in a special way. Instead of some crazy feather flick or whatever the hell that little bug over there is doing, that and whatever the fuck TikTok is, they do something a little more subtle. Do a little toe tap. Look at it. Little toe tap. Ain't that just adorable? A little toe tap. Oh, how cute. Along the same vein of doing something strange in their life cycle, for the betterment of their species, of course, when these colorful little hopping fruit gushers lay eggs, the father of the eggs carries them on his back until he finds a substantially large enough amount of water to lay that egg in. And, later that tadpole, to grow safely. They find little pools of water in the tree leaves and around the jungle floor. Thankfully, the tadpoles themselves are not poisonous. Not yet. In fact, they don't become poisonous until... Fact number 2. The frog's poison comes from the food that they eat. That's right, folks. For all intents and purposes, this iridescent invertebrate is actually a pretty potent poison pirate. And who exactly is being robbed by this croaking criminal? Now, believe it or not, but it's ants. That's right, normal ants, sort of. You see, they eat Formicidae ants. I hope I'm saying that right. Which is an ant that possesses a highly acidic poison gland secreting a acid aptly named formic acid, which is the simplest carboxylic acid. Containing a single carbon. What does that mean? I don't really know. This is way too far out of my depths. I showed it to the only chemist that I actually know to see if it would spook him. He told me that something else was scarier. And although I couldn't tell you or pronounce what the latter one is either, I can, however, tell you what the former will do to you if you come into contact with it. Not in a chemical way, mind you, but in a more, I'd like to say, practical one. Burning in the mouth, throat, and stomach. Also, it causes a rash and irritation to the eyes and nose and skin. Tightness in chest, headache, cough with, or maybe including blood, diarrhea, and confusion. No doubt about that. Generally a bad day indeed. Or, as I like to call it, every third Thursday of a month. And although it sounds like I just read the best parts of a Tremfya ad, it seems that these ants just produce this little stuff on the regular. A tiny dose of this would teach any 7-year-old not to eat ants off the ground. But what the poison dart frogs figured out was how to use this to their advantage. How? I don't know, somebody must have told them. But because this dose of poison is no longer ant-sized, but frog-sized, sticking one of these guys in your mouth usually leads to death. Touching them can be just as detrimental. Generally, avoiding these guys is going to be best. Ergo, looking like a box of melted Crayolas. But with all that context in mind, you can actually own one of these stupid assholes. No offense to all my frog viewers out there. We greens gotta stick together. Am I right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Anyhow, just don't feed them certain ants or other bugs. I don't have time to mention what do you want from me. And you should be fine. If you're trying to do that, I guess. But be warned. Apparently they may still produce a little tiny bit of this acid, according to my very many sources, of course. But in case you do want to run chances with this toxic toad adjacent turd, you should at least have an understanding as to what else you can do with this assistance of these frogs. What else these frogs you can do with them? What else you can use these frogs for? Okay.
Fact number 3.
The origin of the dart frog's name is exactly what it sounds like. Indigenous tribes in Central America, where the frogs are, use the poison of the frogs on their darts as a way to hunt animals. That's right. That's the arrow part of the name. The tribe Ambira Chuco of Western Colombia rely on the local species of frogs to poison their darts. According to one website I've read, they take the darts and they rub them on the backs of these froggy little friends. And it seems that one frog has enough toxic potential and potency to taint 30 to 50 darts, which stay potent for almost a year. I said potent, I think. I said potent, right? Potent. It says potent for almost a year. Oh my god. And naturally, although they were primarily used to hunt, there were of course times where they were used for warfare. Go figure. And it should be said, as of the writing and recording of this while this is being written, there is no reliable antidote to stop the poison. So if you're hit by this, then good luck, buddy. You may not be walking out of this jungle tonight, or quite possibly your strange friend's apartment. Not strange as in queer, mind you. Although, who's to say that the two can't overlap, huh? Well, folks, looks like we've covered the poison, the dart, and the frog parts of the poison dart frog's name. Hit every mark today. Kind of dropped the whole Pride Month theme, but hey, gotta fish for those views somehow, right? I'm just kidding, mostly. Anyway, thank you for checking this awesome video out on whatever day you are seeing this morning. I hope you enjoyed this very informative video. If you learned something today, keep it to yourself. If not, tell me in the comments now! Happy Pride Month to all my gays out there. I hope this was an acceptable offer to all of you. And to the straights, the rest of the year is ours. Like or subscribe, perhaps each this time. Share. Don't forget to check out my podcast I'm doing with DK called PhD Podcast. That's the name of that podcast that I'm part of. That I almost forgot, but I'm part of it. And also my Instagram too. I have an Instagram, guys. I have an Instagram. Links in the description. I now have an Instagram. Oh boy, what a video. Strange video. I kind of feel like this might have been in poor taste at the end there. That might have been a little bit in poor taste. Frogs were cool. Something here feels... It kind of feels like I dropped the ball there. It might have been a little offensive. Talking about gay frogs today. Okay. Yeah, this one might have been the ball. Okay, goodbye. But what the okay. What? Oh my god. Beep boop bop bop skibbity skibbity.
Yes.
Skibbity riz.
I just sat down.
All right.
I had some interesting, about like $30 worth of games at work today.
Did you for real? I didn't even notice. When did you do that?
During the noon, I think.
During the noon? That was 30 minutes.
Or like right before the noon. I don't remember.
See, okay. It's like, what the hell are you talking about during the noon?
One of those things.
It would have been, what, you bought $30 worth of games? That means you spent $1 a minute?
Pretty much. I mean, more like $30 in like 5 minutes.
You're a crazy character.